Jungkook sat at the head of the long mahogany table, his presence commanding the room. The dim light cast shadows that made his face look even more intimidating. His men sat around him, their faces serious as they discussed their latest plan. The shipment will arrive at the dock tonight. We need to ensure everything goes smoothly this time. One of his men said. Jungkook's eyes narrowed. Jungkook, there can be no mistakes. Last time, we lost valuable goods because someone got sloppy. He turned his cold gaze to the man across from him, who was visibly shaking. He was a part of the team responsible for it after all. Jungkook, do you understand? Man, yes, sir, I promise. It won't happen again. And yet, the only reason the guy was alive because he received a call from his wife and had to leave. It was a sign the man was lucky, so Jungkook let him go. The room was thick with tension. Everyone knew how dangerous Jungkook was. His reputation for being ruthless and unforgiving had spread far and wide. He was feared by many, and for good reasons. No one dared to cross him. Suddenly, the heavy door creaked open, and all eyes turned to see Vine peeking in. Her bright smile and sparkling eyes were a stark contrast to the seriousness of the room. Vine, Jungkook, she called out, skipping into the room, completely ignoring the gravity of the situation. Vine, you promised we'd go for ice cream today. Jungkook's expressions softened instantly. The change was so sudden it was almost shocking. His men exchanged shocked glances, knowing that no one dared interrupt him except Ryan. Jungkook, I'm in a meeting, my love. His tone was gentle, completely different from how he had been speaking moments before. She pouted, crossing her arms. Ryan, but you promised, and you never break promises. The man across from Jungkook looked like he was about to faint. Interrupting the Mafia Lord during business was actually a death sentence. But for Ryan, it was always fine. She was his weakness. Jungkook sighed, running a hand through his dark hair. Jungkook, I never break promises. Mine beamed happily and hopped onto his lap, wrapping her arms around his neck. Ryan, you're the best. You know that? Her eyes sparkled as she said excitedly. Ryan knew so well. Jungkook wouldn't ever say no to her, and she took full advantage of that. Jungkook couldn't help but smile, his icy exterior melting under her warmth. But as he turned his attention back to the trembling man, there was a sudden shift of air and his expression as well. Jungkook, consider yourself lucky. We'll continue this discussion later. The man nodded so fast he almost broke his neck. Relief flooding his features, Jungkook stood, lifting Wine effortlessly into his arms. Jungkook, we'll continue tomorrow. Dismissed. Everyone quickly gathered their things, grateful for the unexpected break. They genuinely hated the meetings and having to be in front of Jungkook. I was always so tense and so nerve breaking. Once they were alone, Wine nuzzled into Jungkook's neck. Wine, you're always so scary with them. You should smile more. Jungkook chuckled, a sound only Wine could get out of him. Jungkook, if I did, they wouldn't take me seriously. Wine, well then, I'm glad you're not scared with me. It's so terrifying. She shuddered, wrapping arms around herself with wide eyes, earning a laugh from Jungkook. Jungkook, if you do this, how can I ever get scary with you? Wine, does that mean we can get ice cream now? She asked, her eyes twinkling with excitement. Jungkook, yes, we can get ice cream now, he replied, sitting her down and grabbing his coat. Jungkook, but you have to stop barging in my meetings. It's dangerous. She waved a hand dismissively. Like stated before, it was not going to affect someone who has such a powerful mind. Wine, they're all scared of you anyways, and besides, you're always there to protect me. Jungkook, you're impossible. Wine, and you love me for it? Jungkook, look at you taking the full advantage of it. Not like I'm complaining. The look Wine gave him told he was going to regret those words within a second. Wine, so can we get a pet? Jungkook, didn't know you were into snakes. Wine looked completely horrified and sick, and Jungkook smirked. Is that the definition of pet to you? I was talking about a cute little kitten. Jungkook, no, he said, weirded out, and held her hand. They walked down the busy street. Wine was clenching against his arm, and suddenly they looked like a normal couple on a date. Wine, please, I love you. Jungkook, that's completely unfair. No cats will enter my home. Won't ever let that little thing get your attention more than me. Wine wheezed out. Was he jealous? Of a cat? The Mafia Lord, word feared, was jealous of a little kitten. Wine squeezed his cheek and he looked nothing but dissatisfied. Wine, I'll give you all the time. Now stop being a baby and let's go get a cat. As they reached the ice cream parlor, Jungkook dragged her inside, getting her distracted. Wine tugged at his hand excitedly. Sometimes she was too cute for him to handle. Getting distracted by all those colorful flavors, he never thought he would be interesting in such a person. But Wine always had her ways to find a new side of him. They stepped back outside, walking together as they enjoyed the ice cream. Jungkook was glad she had forgotten about her new pet. This distraction was not too bad, it seemed. They stopped, and he got her a candy floss as well. There were a few stalls. Jungkook did everything he could, like a normal man would, for his lady. Did that gun shooting to win her plushes and hair accessories. Every kind of a game those stalls and cabins had to offer, only for her to forget her pet. Wine. Okay, now my cat. He threw his head down in disbelief. No way. He did all that for her to forget one thing. At the end of the day, they visited a pet store and Jungkook got her the pet she wanted. Even if he was strongly against it. But as long as he got to see that smile and sparkly eyes, he was truly up for everything. Vine, I love you. She kissed his cheek and he held her chin in return and kissed her lips instead. Jungkook, I love you more, princess. No words could ever describe that, but my actions will.